first take on the index is absolutely flat.
Just up about 14 points in the Nifty. The Sensex higher by close to about 26 points.
Markets, it's the mid-cap space which is really firing up. That index touched a record high, a new high again.
The mid-cap index has made a new high, a fresh high. And that is something which has been doing phenomenally well.
Slight minor red tick on the Nifty, but the day really belongs to the broader markets. The mid-cap index flying away, hitting fresh highs, 1% up on that index.
Hello and welcome to Markets Today, the show where we track around 6 hours of the day's trading action in just 5 headlines. I'm Marshall D'Souza. Let's get straight to the top headlines for the day. It's a range-bound session on the Lal Street. The Nifty and the Sensex end flat. Financials fall in line with the benchmarks. Auto and insurance stocks do well. The mid-caps continue to outperform. The index hits a record high. The Nifty small-cap index is only 200 points shy of lifetime highs. PFC and REC are the biggest mid-cap gainers this year, hit record highs today. Union Bank announces its QIP to raise 5,000 crore rupees, while SJS Enterprises sees a big trade for 33% of its equity, worth around 610 crore rupees. Railway stocks like Titagarh Rail Systems, BHEL and Railtel, they jump after Mr. Money, the mastermind behind the Vande Bharat Express trains, says that 3 to 4 trains are being rolled out every month, expects several orders for 200 Vande Bharat equipments in the coming months. An analyst share Cartrade's acquisition of OLX India's auto classifieds and C2B transaction business. The stock fires up. Eveready and Linde as well hit 52-week highs, while Autofarm on the flip side sees some selling after Citi downgrades the stock. Well, here's what we have lined up on the show for you. It's a power-packed show as always. In Market Opinion, we have Andrew Holland, Chief Executive Officer at Avendus Capital Public Markets, Alternate Strategies. In Big Corporate Voices, we have Prabha Narasimhan, the MD and CEO of Colgate-Palmolive. Well, getting straight to the day's trading action then. A range-bound session is what we saw. The Nifty and the Sensex, well, they ended as flat as can be. The day, though, belonged to the broader markets. You had the auto index that batted for the bulls. The index ended high with a gain of close to 0.5%. And the broader markets as well did very, very well. Prashant Nair is with us to give us a wrap of today's action. Prashant?
Well, nothing very much to talk about on the Nifty at least. Absolutely flat close, hugging that 19,400 level like yesterday. Banks also a lackluster kind of day. No real traction one way or the other. Slightly lower. But mid-caps and small-caps. Mid-cap index full 1%. Small-cap index 0.75%. And now the mid-cap index, by the way, has hit a new life high. So it's the latest addition in that club. The small cap index just has got about 200 odd points to traverse before it hits its respective high as well. I'll get straight to the broader market action because that's where bulk of the moves came in from. So the old economy, right? I mean, take a look at these names. Adani Power, BHEL, Dredging Corporation, Linde India, it's a gas supply to industries, HBL Power, Talbros Automotive. So we talk about manufacturing, capital goods, industrials. That was the flavor which has done well. Hospitals, smaller hospital chains like Yatharth, which is also a new listing, by the way. Rainbow Hospitals, there was Shalby, which did very well. Liberty Shoes, TRF, which is again in the industrial space. Eveready spiked up out of nowhere, 10-11% today. There was Panacea Biotech, SH Kelkar, Mayur Unicoaters. I mean, these are names which we don't usually present at the end of the day when we present the wrap, but that's the kind of market we are in. It's spreading out even as the market has hit new highs. The indices there have hit new highs. There were some losers as well. I found 3 with decent volumes. Colgate was down. Sun TV and Viatech Vabag were lower as well. I mean, all eyes on the US Treasury market, which is going to be the focal point. The 2-year nominal in the US has hit 5%. And I think the Powell speech, the Fed Chair Powell speech on Friday as part of the Jackson Hole Symposium will be the next direction giver in terms of where rates in the US are headed. And that at least is important for larger indices, if not for mid-caps and small caps. Back to you.
Well, thanks for that, Prashant. In Market Opinion, Andrew Holland, the Chief Executive Officer at Avendus Capital Public Markets, said that there ain't enough catalysts for the Indian markets to move higher. He added that one needs to take a stock-specific approach while investing. Let's hear him out.
Chinese authorities have really just haven't used any kind of bazookas yet to fire the economy up, and that's causing a lot of kind of concerns. And they do something instead of using a pea shooter, they use a bazooka. Then that obviously could have a very, very strong positive impact for not just for the economy but investor thinking at the moment. We're benefiting from that. But it's not enough of a catalyst to get our markets higher, right? So we have our own concerns about the monsoons, El Nino, and if you look at the kind of import-export figures, it's starting to drift down. So there's a bit of worry about the economy slowing now. It's not the index that you necessarily should look at. It's the themes below the index which you should play, and we talked about these many times, and a lot of them have done very well. We're all kind of trying to find new areas, new companies which will beat the index handsomely, and it's becoming a little bit more tough at this point because the overall kind of slowdown that we're starting to see. It's just starting to play through in the commentary by companies as well.
Well, moving to the second headline now. The mid-cap index hit a record high in today's session. The small-cap index is 200 points shy of a lifetime high. Yet PFC and REC, both of them hit record highs and are the biggest mid-cap gainers in this year. Prashant's back with us to fill us in with the key mid-cap stocks that are buzzing. Prashant?
Well, that's right. The mid-cap index has also now joined the Life High Club. The Nifty and the Sensex did that earlier, and now today the mid-cap index has joined that as well. Small caps, well, almost there. We're about 200 points away on the small cap index for it to hit its respective high. Could be done in a day or two if we have, the kind of trading session that we had today. Now, let's just put into context the mid-cap rise in terms of PE multiples. Because, you could look at absolute numbers and what was this run worth and what happened in the previous run. But I think PE multiples will contextualize the move in relation to the earnings growth or the earnings expectation. So what I've done is I've taken 1 year forward PE multiples, and I've taken the current one, which is on your screen. So the mid-cap index is now trading at about 23.4 times earnings. And then I've looked at the previous peak for the mid-cap index, which is October of 2021, when the markets peaked out. Back then, the P multiple for the mid-cap index was 25 times plus. Remember, after October 21, the markets did nothing, went sideways for 18 months, and then this rally began this April. I went back one more high, which is January of 2018. Even then, we were higher than right now, at north of 24.3 times 1 year forward earnings. So while 23.4 looks high relative to the previous peaks, we are trading at lower P multiples. The reason, of course, being that earnings optimism and earnings delivery has been much faster this time around. Now, look at the takeoff, right? The rally started on the 28th of March. So these are the big gainers from April onwards. REC, PFC, complete dark horses, 112 and 88% respectively. Adani Power, full 100%. IRFC, Dixon, Polycab has been such a big consistent compounder. IDFC First Bank, Lupin, Piramal Enterprises are some of the others which have led the list there. Only 4 losers and very small cuts in that period. Hindustan Zinc, Gujarat Gas, Petronet and Fluorochem. And so flat that, 1 day of gains and they could flip and join the gainers list there. The reason is for all of this, of course, is flows, right? Even though promoters, insiders, early investors have been selling, all of that has gotten absorbed. And that's largely thanks to FII flows. Take a look at the numbers. Since April, FIs have pumped in about 1.5 lakh crores into this market. Mutual funds, of course, have lagged behind with about 10,500 crores. But the fact is, and we've heard this from investors we speak with every day, they've become more comfortable going down the market cap curve and not limiting themselves to large caps, really. Back to you.
Well put, Prashant. Thanks a lot for that. Well, let's move you to the third headline today then. Union Bank fell close to 2% after the board approved a plan to raise up to 5,000 crore rupees via the QIP route. The floor price has been set around 91 rupees per share. Abhishek Kothari joins us to fill us in with more details. Abhishek?
Union Bank has launched its QIP. They could be raising as much as 5,000 crores. So the base deal size is about 2,500 crores, which based on the demand can be upsized to about 5,000 crores. So indicative price is about 86.5 rupees per share. Now this indicative price does imply that it is at a discount of 5.7% to NSE's closing price yesterday and about 5% discount to the floor price as per SEBI formula. Now calculation shows if at all they raise 5,000 crore completely, net worth will increase by a little more than 6% to 86,364 crores. Equity dilution could be around 8.5%, which means that the government of India's stake could come down to 77% versus 83.5% that is there right now. Tier 1 ratio that increases only by 30 basis points to about 14.16%, and book value will decline by a little more than 2% to about 116.5 per share. Back to you.
Thanks a lot for that, Abhishek. Well, let's move on to the big newsmaker then. Prabha Narasimhan, the MD and CEO of Colgate-Palmolive, is on the prowl. Speaking exclusively to CNBC-TV18, she said that the company is in talks on inorganic growth opportunities, but stopped short of revealing any further details. Narasimhan also believes a macroeconomic recovery is underway and rural sentiment is improving. Let's hear her out.
Rural volumes are inching back to being positive, which is great. I think inflation cooling off is helping this entire thing of consumers realizing the importance of oral care and coming back to those categories. And the macroeconomic indicators are certainly providing some green shoots, which we hope will continue over the coming months and quarters. We are also equally interested in inorganic opportunities in this space as well. So we are in conversation on some inorganic opportunities, as most companies are all of the time. And again, not at liberty to give specifics on it, but it is certainly on our radar.
Colgate on the prowl. Well, that'll be interesting to see what they come up with regard to this inorganic opportunity that they're teasing us about. For the time being, though, we'll slip into a short break. You come back. We'll continue with all the top headlines that we're tracking for you. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're still with us on Markets Today. Well, as promised, let's run you through the remainder of the headlines that we're tracking for you, which brings us to the fourth headline today. Railway-related stocks like BHAL, RailTel, Titagarh Rail Systems, they rallied in trade. Mr. Sudhanshu Mani, the visionary behind the Vande Bharat Express trains, said that 3 to 4 trains are being rolled out every month. He also added that there will be several orders for the 200 Vande Bharat equipments in the coming few months. Let's hear him out.
So as of now, 28 such trains are in service. Some of them are 8-coach trains, not 16-coach. Nevertheless, 3 to 4 trains are being turned out every month from Integral Coach Factory, Chennai. In addition, as you may be aware, Indian Railways has placed orders on Messrs. Titagarh plus BHEL and TMH plus RVNL to manufacture Vande Bharat trains in railway premises. That order is for 200 numbers, and this will start in 2025 and go on for next 4 years. In addition, another 200 trains, after 125 or so are completed by Integral Coach Factory, are also in the offing, for which tenders would be floated very soon for acquiring the components and equipment. What is in the offing for a long time has been delayed is a sleeper version of the train. So what will come to you from the 200 trains ordered on private sector, as well as another 10 ordered on BML, is a sleeper version of the train, which is a necessity today, because gradually routes on which you can get adequate clientele for the train, because the fares are higher, would diminish. And therefore, the sleeper version is very important. I think the prototype should be there next year middle. After that, it will pan out very fast, and it will replace the Rajdhani routes to begin with and other overnight services.
Well, moving on to the fifth and final headline today. Car trade tech rallied over 4.5%. It plans to acquire OLX India's auto business Soptech Auto for around 537 crore rupees. Analysts maintain a positive view on the deal. Sonia joins us. She filed this report earlier in the day. Sonia?
So I'm watching out for a couple of stocks. Let me start with Cartrade first. Now that stock is up almost about 5-odd%. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, Cartrade had announced that they are acquiring OLX India's automobile business, Sobek Auto, for a sum of 537 odd crores. Now it's basically a digital platform that Sobek runs and a classified internet business as well. Cartrade is acquiring both those businesses. Now, the last 3 years turnover of Sobek Auto should come up for you on your screen. It's grown substantially from around 550 crores to 1110 crores. But this announcement was made a couple of weeks ago. The reason the stock is buzzing today is because the company had a conference call where they spoke more about this acquisition and what it would do to their business. Post that, a lot of brokerages have, given a thumbs up to the stock. Citi has a buy on Cartrade with a target price of 624 rupees. Nomura has a buy with a target price of 678 rupees. And this is after very optimistic comments that came in from the management, where the management said that post the acquisition, Cartrade's classified business will double to 370 crores. So they're looking at a 2x jump in the classifieds business, and the transaction business will rise 1.5 times to 310 crores. So that's the reason Cartrade is up almost about 5-odd% today.
Okay, that was about Cartrade, but Oro Pharma, that was under pressure. It was down close to 2%. This after Citi downgraded the stock to sell from its previous position. The brokerage said that it does not expect any material improvement in the US generics dynamics for the company. Nimesh joins us to fill us in with that report. Nimesh?
That's right, and that's the reason why the stock is down 2% as well. So a rare downgrade coming in on Aurobindo Pharma. Citi has today downgraded the stock to sell from buy, and they have a target price of 750, a potential 12% discount, or 12% downside from the current levels. Now, Citi believes that the near-term upside levers are priced in, and they don't see much of a comfort in terms of the future pipeline. In fact, after the recent rally, valuations are at 2.5 standard deviation and 1.5 standard deviation above the 5-year and 10-year average mean, and factoring in most of the near-term to medium-term earnings levers, which includes the likes of launch of generic Revlimid, commercialization of Pen-G, which is under PLI, and any potential improvement in the injectables sales. Now, in fact, Citi doesn't see any material improvement in the US generic dynamics, barring the near-term, short-term pricing stability, or for that matter, some bit of volume opportunity as well. So the stock has run up pretty hard. Valuations are expensive now, and hence a downgrade on Aurobindo Pharma to sell with a target price of 750 from Citigroup today.
Well, got it, Nimesh. So Oro ended down, but Linde India, what a dream stock that one has been. In the last few years, the stock is up nearly around 8 to around 9 times odd. Well, it hit a fresh 52-week high today. It's rallied close to around, close to 10% today. The company says that it's expecting steady growth from the healthcare sector. Sonal Butra joins us to fill us in with what's driving the stock. Sonal?
Well, it's a big outperformer. It's up 15 times from COVID lows of 378 rupees a share. And if I look at the data otherwise as well, it has delivered positive returns every year in 7 out of the 8 last years, calendar years that we are tracking. And the only year where it gave negative returns was 2019, and the negative return was just 3%. So it definitely has created wealth for the investors as well. Now, the company did upload a presentation on Friday, and there were some interesting takeaways from there. Remember, it's an industrial gas transmitter. Basically, it provides industrial gas to sectors like healthcare, automobiles, refineries, steel as well. So it plays an important role there. The company says they are seeing steady growth from the healthcare sector. They are also seeing consolidation, productivity improvement and expansion in the steel sector from clients like SAIL, Tata Steel, Vedanta, etc. And they expect to see greater demand there and also improving opportunities in the steel space. They have future priorities. They have targeted some markets, the likes of pharmaceuticals, which is growing very fast according to them. There's additional demand coming in from chemicals and paints as well. Railways, pharma, defense continues to be in focus, and that could be the big opportunity for them. Mobile fill at construction sites also is looking like a good opportunity. They're also looking at M&A opportunities in the bulk segment, and that is what the street seems to like. Now, as I said, it's an industrial gas company and is looking at demand across the board, where industrial gases like hydrogen, nitrogen, all of them are used as well. In terms of their earnings, in June quarter, they saw revenues of 721 crore rupees, which compares with 630 crore rupees on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Their profits were flat as well, but it has consistently delivered wealth to the shareholders, and today today is also such a day.
Thanks a lot for that. So now we'll move into some more stock-specific action. Then Eveready's Industries jumped to a 52-week high. The management put out a strong outlook in the first quarter. They said that they will continue to maintain guidance of double-digit revenue growth from FY22 to FY26. That would mean that they would be growing in double digits, and then their revenues will double at minimum possible capex. Sonia joins us. Well, she had filed this report earlier on Eveready Industries.
The stock is at a fresh 52-week high. It's up 11% today, about 10% now. And in the last 1 month, the stock has gone up about 25%. Now, the commentary was very strong. The management said that they're on track to double the revenues from FY22 to FY26. So that's the guidance that they put out. They also hold on to a margin band of 10 to 12% for FY24, and they are confident to do double-digit margins by the end of FY24. The growth will pick up Q2 onwards. So Q1 was a bit sluggish, where they saw some amount of margin pressure, but the growth will pick up Q2 onwards. Now, in terms of segmental performance, right, the consumer battery business is doing very well for them. They have a market share in excess of 54%, and 62% of their revenues comes from the battery business overall. So the consumer battery market is doing very well. Apart from that, the lighting business is very strong, is what they say. In Q1 itself, the lighting business saw a 20% year-on-year growth. And in that context, I mean, just to give you a context, 22% of their overall business comes from the lighting market. So lighting business doing well. The battery business in Q1, although it was a little bit sluggish, but they still have over 54% market share in the consumer battery segment. And these are a couple of things that, the street liked, and hence the stock is up in the green.
Well, on that note, though, it's curtains down on this edition of Markets Today. You stay tuned for further programming.